My husband went to the capital for his exams 10 years ago. He only returns home once a year to visit, but he never touches me. Chingyue, I'm not by your side. If you were to become pregnant and no one was here to care for you, my heart would break. To put his mind at ease, I stayed in our old country home to care for my dying mother-in-law. Every time he left, he would curse himself for his lack of success, pointing to the sky and swearing, Chingyue, wait until I make a name for myself, then I will bring you to the capital. This wait lasted for 11 years. In the winter of the 11th year, heavy snow blocked the roads. Gu Yan arrived in the county, saying he would stay for a few days to make up for lost time. I was about to tell my mother-in-law the news when I accidentally overheard, Mother, you've been faking this illness for over 10 years. How much longer must you pretend? What else can we do? Yenner and his foster sister have long been married. Their children aren't young anymore. If we don't string Chingyue along, can he keep his position as a high official? It turns out, it was all a lie. Gu Yan wasn't a failure. On the contrary, he had long become the Minister of Revenue. It wasn't that he couldn't bear to touch me, but that he already had someone else in his bed. Since he is not the one for me, then I shall turn away and find the man who truly holds me in his heart. Wei Lin, I'm asking you, are you still willing to marry me? Lady Chingyue, I promise to treat you well. But please, give me 1 month. I must go to the front lines tonight. This time, I will surely perform a great service and marry you with great honor. I never asked for honor, only for stability. Protect yourself. Just return to me safely. I watched Wei Lin set off for war, then turned back toward the Gu residence. I thought only my mother-in-law would be inside, but the lights in the main hall were lit. A familiar, tall figure stood there, his back to the candlelight. Mother, it's late, you should rest early. Chingyue, I'm back. Chingyue, I'm back. It's been a year. He carried the steady aura of a high official, even possessing a certain natural authority. He opened his arms, waiting for me to throw myself into his embrace as I used to, but all I felt was disgust. I wanted only to pull away. My husband, you haven't eaten yet, have you? I'll go prepare a few small dishes for you. What's wrong? You didn't miss me after a year? Or, are you angry with me? Before I knew the truth, I really did miss him. I was also resentful that he never stayed. But now, all those feelings were gone. Rather than making a scene, it's better to part on good terms, to leave quietly. Husband, go and talk more with mother. I'll call you when the food is ready. Chingyue, did you hear something? In such a remote place. One rarely sees an outsider all year. Husband, do not overthink things. Chingyue, come with me. There is something I must tell you. I followed him into the main hall. At a glance, I saw my mother-in-law. Beside her stood a woman adorned in gold and silver, along with a pair of children who shared Gu Yan's features. My mother-in-law hung her head in guilt, not even daring to look at me. You must be Shin Chingyue. My name is Yin Susu. I am Gu Yan's foster sister, and also his wife. These are the children Gu Yan and I share. Quickly, call her Auntie Shin. Chingyue, let me explain. That year on my way to the exams, I was robbed by bandits. If Susu hadn't saved me, I'm afraid I wouldn't be alive. I originally only intended to take her as a foster sister, but later I learned she was an orphan with nowhere to go, so I wanted to give her a home. Ultimately, it was to repay a debt. If you feel hurt, you can hit me or scold me, as long as we can all get along once we reach the capital. Moving to the capital is a good thing. There's nothing to feel bad about. Mother's health hasn't improved for so many years. Perhaps she will recover once we are in the capital. Really? Chingyue, you don't blame me? My compliance made Gu Yan breathe a sigh of relief. Chingyue, then hurry and pack your things. We depart the day after tomorrow. We can make it back to the capital for New Year's Eve. Mother doesn't have much to pack. It will be quick. You can all set out the morning after tomorrow. Chingyue, what do you mean by that? You aren't coming with us? Once we leave, we probably won't be coming back. I have to handle the fields and the house. Leaving them empty wouldn't be right. Husband, take everyone to the capital for the holiday first. Once I've settled everything here, I'll join you. He knew how important this land and house were to me. When I first married into the family, the Gu family had nothing. We lived in a rented, drafty shack. I worked myself to the bone, supporting his studies and exams, while saving up to buy this house and these 2 plots of land. Only then did the family stop worrying about survival, and Gu Yan had a quiet place to study. Perhaps remembering the past, a hint of pity appeared in his eyes. Chingyue, I am now the Minister of Revenue. I do not lack money. At most, we can just give the house and land to the poor. Save yourself the effort. After all, I built this up bit by bit. I can't just let it go. Husband, don't worry. I'll find you as soon as I've settled it. I won't delay. Husband, don't go soft. The censorate is watching you. If you leave her here, and the censorate investigates and she says something wrong, will you still be able to keep your office? In an instant, I realized he hadn't found his conscience. He was just afraid I would ruin his future. The current emperor is a devoted man, and hates those who abandon their wives and children most of all. He was just trying to coax me, to keep me from speaking out of turn. Married to Gu Yan for 11 years, I poured my heart out to support the Gu family, only to be met with such calculations. I suppressed my bitterness and thought of a way to escape. Husband, if that is what you're worried about, I can write a letter of guarantee. No matter who asks, I will swear that I am the Gu family's foster daughter, and that I am your sister. How is that? But just to be safe, husband must destroy one thing immediately. Husband must destroy one thing immediately. What is it? Our marriage contract. Chingyue, are you truly willing to humble yourself like this for me? For my husband, I would do anything. When I get to the capital, you can marry me again, and then just give me a new one. Chingyue is right. With your current status, you cannot afford to leave evidence. Destroy it. Yue is being so considerate of you. You can compensate her well in the future. Gu Yan, though he hesitated, it was nothing compared to his worry for his career. This marriage contract was once my most precious possession, but now, it was only a stumbling block to my freedom. Yue, I was wrong to keep this from you, but you must believe me, I will treat you well in the future. Wait for me. I will prepare the best dowry gifts and marry you all over again. I personally set fire to both copies of the contract. The flames consumed the marriage contract and also burned away my 13 years of obsession. Watching the flames, I actually began to look forward to life after freedom. After Gu Yan accompanied Yun Susu and the children back to their room, my mother-in-law called me over. She dropped her facade and knelt before me. Yue, it was my fault for hiding it from you for so long. You must hate me, don't you? I don't blame you. I know your severe illness was faked, but you still have minor aches and pains. Once you reach the capital, listen to the doctor's advice. Oh, Yue, why are you so kind? Without you, who else would be so good to me? In the future, no matter how Yenner treats you, I will treat you as my own daughter. I won't let anyone bully you. It's okay, mother. Whomever Gu Yan marries, that person will be like your daughter. You don't need to feel you owe me anything. I understood her desperation, and I never blamed her, but I would never trust her again either. She was, after all, Gu Yan's mother. Her heart would always be biased toward him. As soon as I left my mother-in-law's room, I was intercepted in the courtyard by Yun Susu. Lady Shen, you needn't take Gu Yan's words to heart. In truth, I never saved his life. What do you mean by that? It was Gu Yan who fell in love with me at first sight. He used becoming sworn siblings as an excuse to get close, ruined my original engagement, and then married me. The story of me being his savior was just a tactic. He knew you were kind and would feel obligated to a savior, so he invented that excuse to force you to comply. His promise to marry you with honor is all a lie. When you get to the capital, you will only be a concubine. And don't believe my mother-in-law either. In her heart, her own son and grandchildren are what's most important. You're telling me all this because you want me to leave, right? Gu Yan is sentimental. You've given so much to the Gu family. If he were to let you go, he would surely blame me. He would sabotage his own life. I just want you to recognize your place. Be a good concubine when you reach the capital. Don't even think about status or children. Gu Yan promised me that he would only have children with me. That's why he never touches you. If you behave, I'll see that you're provided for. But if you have other ideas, don't blame me for being unkind. I had no desire to tangle with her any further, so I gave a perfunctory nod. On the day of their departure, I walked Gu Yan and the others to the village entrance. I took off the jade hairpin my mother-in-law had given me and placed it in Yun Susu's palm. This hairpin is an heirloom from mother. The whole village knows it's for the Gu family's daughter-in-law. I'm keeping it to avoid suspicion, but it will be safer with Sister Yun. Yue, mother gave that to you. You should keep it. Mother, sister is right. I'll just return it to her when we reunite later. Yue, don't worry. What mother gives you will always belong to you. In my heart, only you are my daughter-in-law. Once you arrive in the capital, I will definitely get it back for you. Brother Yen, this sachet was embroidered by my grandmother before she died. It's the only keepsake she left behind. Could you return it to me? Yue, this sudden change of address is quite strange. When we're alone, you should still call me husband. We must be cautious. We can't let anyone find evidence. Brother, it's almost New Year's Eve. I'll be quite lonely by myself. I wanted to keep the sachet as something to hold on to. If you like it, how about I give it back to you when I reach the capital? He reluctantly untied the sachet and also handed me a stack of banknotes. Before they left, he turned back around. Concealed by his sleeve, he squeezed my hand tightly. Wait for me until spring. I will come and get you personally. There's one last thing I must confess to you. I watched them leave, then went back inside and grabbed my already packed bag. I left the banknotes on the table and walked north without looking back. There was Wei Lin, and there was the new life I wanted. Winter roads are hard to travel. I didn't have much travel money and couldn't afford to hire a carriage. I could only travel in stages. When I ran out of money, I'd stay in a city to work, then continue once I'd earned enough. In the blink of an eye, it was spring. I was getting closer and closer to the border. At that moment, I was wiping tables at a restaurant in a border town. The owner suddenly came running in, excited. Yue, the border army has won. Once they've dealt with the prisoners, they'll be back at the border pass in a few days. You'll see your fiancé very soon. Take these few days' wages. Your fiancé is a hero of our army. Consider the extra a wedding gift from me. Hurry and hire a carriage to go meet him at the pass. Thank you, boss. I hired a carriage to the border pass, but the army hadn't returned yet. I found the city guard and pressed some money into his hand, asking him to tell Wei Lin where I was staying. Sir, my fiancé's name is Wei Lin. When he arrives, please tell him that I'm waiting for him at the second house on the east side. There's no need for money. Just put in a good word for me in the future, miss. I was full of doubt. Wei Lin was just a foot soldier. Why would the guard be so polite? But it was good to save money. I waited for him in the rented house, feeling inevitably anxious. After all, I had been married before. I was afraid his interest was just a passing whim. But on second thought, even if he changed his mind, I have hands and feet. I can live well on my own. Once I came to terms with that, I began sewing a wedding dress. When I married Gu Yan, I didn't even have a wedding dress. This time, I wanted to make one for myself. The year I married Gu Yan, the Gu family was destitute. Even the wine for the ceremony was borrowed from neighbors. Later, when I earned money, the first thing I did was repay the neighbors with 2 large jars of wine. Auntie 12 held me and cried, calling me a fool for wasting my life on that bookworm Gu Yan. But back then, my heart was full of him, and I truly believed he would never fail me. The next day, a carriage suddenly stopped at my door. I thought it was Wei Lin returning, but when I ran out, I saw Gu Yan. Yue, you certainly made it hard for me to find you. Do you have any idea how worried I was? You gave me your word. Why did you leave home on your own and run run all the way to this border city? There is no need for Lord Gu to worry about me. Our marriage contract is destroyed. I am no longer a member of the Gu family. Where I go, and whether I live or die, has nothing to do with you. Qingyue, I know you're upset, but you shouldn't be so headstrong. You clearly promised me you would come to the capital. How could you suddenly break your word? When we were married, Lord Gu also promised never to fail me, and never to take another. Didn't you also break your word? We're even now. Lord Gu, let's call it settled. We've been husband and wife for over a decade. How can you say it's settled just like that? Qingyue, I know you've been wrong. I apologize to you. When we return, I will definitely make you my equal wife. You won't be treated any lower than Susu, okay? A debt for saving your life? Even now, you're still trying to use that lie to deceive me? Gu Yan, your apology is truly insincere. Qingyue, what do you mean by that? Yun Susu told me everything long ago. There were no bandits, and no debt of gratitude. You fell in love with her at first sight. All that talk about repaying a debt was just an excuse you made for your betrayal. Qingyue, let me explain. Susu is just very jealous. She was intentionally trying to drive us apart. What woman would want to share a husband? I impatiently cut him off, my heart long since numb. So you understood that too. That's why you didn't return for 10 years, leaving me to wait in an empty room. And why you had your mother fake illness for 10 years to keep me in the country. Isn't that right, Gu Yan? Since you care for her so much, then stop pestering me, lest you hurt me and her both. The Shin Qingyue of the past is already dead. She died the day she learned the truth. The person I am now has nothing to do with you or the Gu family. Out of respect for our past, I won't say a single word against you. I only ask that you leave immediately. My fiancé will return in triumph soon. I don't want him to misunderstand. Fiancé? Who? What is this fiancé's name? He's just an ordinary soldier. Lord Gu wouldn't recognize him anyway. Please, leave quickly. Qingyue, have you lost your mind? You'd reject me, a minister, to stay single? To marry a lowly, nameless soldier? His life is never guaranteed. His meager pay won't even buy you a full meal. Do you really want to return to those bitter days? What do those bitter days matter? If I were afraid of hardship, I never would have married you in the first place. Lord Gu, do not insult my fiancé again. He may not have glory, but he treats me with absolute sincerity. At least he isn't fickle and heartless like you. Once you return with me, I will use my actions to prove. The commander of the border army, Qin Su, is an old acquaintance of mine. I'll go find him right now and have him have a word with that fiancé of yours. If he's sensible, I'll find another girl for him, and I'll even pay for his dowry gifts. He actually intended to use his power to pressure Wei Lin. I was beyond furious. I knew the thing he cared about most was his reputation, so I used that to threaten him. Gu Yan, if you dare look for him, I will end my life right here and now. My reputation may be worth little, but for a grand minister of revenue to be stained with the infamy of mistreating a common woman, it won't be easy for you, will it? Qingyue, put down the sword first. We can talk this through. Write it down in black and white immediately. If anything happens to me or my fiancé in the future, it will be held as your responsibility. Fine, I'll write it. But I came in a hurry and didn't bring brush or paper. Go and get some for me. I foolishly believed him. As I turned to go inside for the writing materials, he suddenly attacked from behind, snatching the weapon away. He then ordered his attendants to restrain me, saying he was going to see General Qin Su. My mouth was covered by an attendant. Just as I was at my wit's end, a loud, boisterous voice came from outside the courtyard. Minister Gu, why are you here? I just heard you say you were looking for me. Is there some important matter? General Qin, what a coincidence. It's nothing major. I just wanted to ask the general for help in finding someone. Ha ha ha, finding someone? That's a small matter, Minister Gu. But could it wait until I've handled my own important business first? It's no trouble. Please, go ahead, General. I happen to be here on business as well. I'm here to propose marriage. Gu Yan was stunned by those words. He instinctively blocked the doorway. General Qin, you and your wife have always had a great relationship, and your children are already grown. This isn't appropriate, is it? Ha ha ha, Minister Gu, you've misunderstood. I'm not the one proposing. I'm proposing on behalf of my foster son, who is injured and cannot move. Are you Shin Qingyue? It's me. Ha ha ha, then that's it. My foster son is Wei Lin, your fiancé. General, are you mistaken? My fiancé is indeed named Wei Lin, but he's just an ordinary soldier. He couldn't possibly be your foster son. Could it be someone with the same name? His home village is Qingshan, and he has a mole on his palm. Does that match your fiancé? Never mind. I'll have men carry him over. You can see for yourself. There's no need, General. The features you described are all correct. There's no need to confirm. You said he was injured. Don't make him move. I'll go and see him myself. I hurried to leave, but was suddenly grabbed by Gu Yan. General Qin, there is something we must clarify. Qingyue is my foster sister. I have never heard her mention anything about Wei Lin. This private engagement of theirs cannot be recognized. Stop talking nonsense. Wei Lin is now the general's foster son. If the general learns you're a woman who has been married before, not only will you fail to marry him, but you will also implicate him. His reputation will be utterly ruined. I was intimidated by his words. I was terrified of implicating Wei Lin, and I was desperately thinking of a way to respond. But Lord Gu, it's useless whether you agree or not. You should have heard by now. That boy Wei Lin charged into battle with no regard for his life this time. He severely wounded the enemy's commander, and even brought back his head. He took the top honor. He didn't ask the emperor for any rewards. He only used his military merit to request an imperial marriage decree for Miss Shin. If your family objects, it would be an act of defying an imperial decree. I stood there in a daze for a long time. Hot tears couldn't stop welling out. This time, it wasn't from feeling wrong. It was joy and deep emotion. I never imagined Wei Lin would risk his life like that for me, or use his hard-earned military merit to secure an imperial decree. All my insecurities and fears vanished into thin air at that moment. How can this be? How can this be, Lord Gu? Isn't this a good thing? Why don't you look happy at all? Happy? Oh, I'm happy. Shinsu had also brought the imperial decree this time. No matter how unwilling Gu Yan was, he could only swallow his bitterness. He even had to take me back to the capital as my foster brother to prepare for my wedding. Days later, the Gu residence was decorated with lanterns and streamers. Yun Susu was busy with all the arrangements, wishing she could marry me off immediately. Only Gu Yan and his mother were frowning day after day. After Wei Lin's body recovered, he came in person to propose. He even said something in front of Gu Yan and his mother that made Gu Yan's face turn dark. Asking my foster father to propose on my behalf was a last resort. I was afraid that if I stayed unconscious too long, someone would steal you away. After Wei Lin left, I went to serve tea to my mother-in-law as per etiquette, but outside the door, I heard her scolding Gu Yan. There was also the sound of a cup shattering. I told you long ago, Xingyue is a good girl. If you don't want her, others will be rushing to have her, but you just wouldn't listen. Look at this now. My wonderful daughter-in-law is about to belong to someone else. Mother, what are you saying? Isn't Susu also your daughter-in-law? Her? What kind of daughter-in-law is she? When I was sick, did she ever take one look or ask one question? You work late every night at the office, but has she ever accompanied you once? Has she ever cooked a single midnight snack for you? Yenner, think back to when we were in the countryside and you studied all night. Who was the one who stayed by your side without even changing clothes? Who was the one terrified you'd go hungry? Forget about Qingyue. Even I, your mother, think you are ungrateful and heartless. Mother, how could I not know what you're saying? But Qingyue and Wei Lin's marriage is an imperial decree. Even if I wanted to take her back, I no longer can. Mother, let's just make do. Susu has at least provided an heir for the Gu family. Let's both just endure it. I was about to slip away quietly, but Yin Susu rushed past me in a rage and barged into the room. She had a massive argument with Gu Yan and his mother. She openly declared that she held proof of Gu Yan abandoning and mistreating his first wife. The Gu family mother and son could only let her control them. Gu Yan, what do you mean by make do? You mother and son realize Shin Qingyue's worth now, so you treat me like something you just have to settle for? I'm telling you, it's too late. Once Shin Qingyue is married out, I'm still the one who calls the shots in this house. I am the head of this household. Don't talk to me about being the head of the house. I have evidence of you abandoning your original wife in my hands. If you want to live in peace for the rest of your life, then behave and be my slave. And you old bat. It was your idea to fake being sick to trap Shin Qingyue back then. Now that you've lost her, you regret it? This is your karma. If you don't want anything to happen to your son, keep your mouth shut. Don't try to use filial piety to set rules for me. Looking at the miserable state of the Gu family in that room, I felt no sympathy in my heart. It was simply a case of evil people tormenting their own kind. I turned and left without alerting them. 3 days later, I was grandly married into the residence the emperor had bestowed upon Wei Lin. Wei Lin turned all his reward money into dowry gifts. Although the ceremony wasn't extravagant, everything was perfectly prepared. It was infinitely better than when I married Gu Yan. In the second year of our marriage, I followed Wei Lin to the border to be stationed there, cutting off all contact with the Gu family. Occasionally, I heard rumors from the streets that the Gu household was in total chaos. Yun Susu had the Gu mother and son completely under her thumb. Gu Yan was repeatedly impeached, and his career came to an end. His mother's faked illnesses eventually became real, leaving her bedridden for the rest of her life. Hearing all this, I no longer felt any stirrings in my heart. At this moment, I was bowing my head, sewing new shoes for Wei Lin. He trained his soldiers so hard that he wore out 7 or 8 pairs a month. It truly made my heart ache for him. Qingyue, the doctor said you're having twins, a boy and a girl. That's the hardest on you. Don't worry about me anymore. I am your wife. If I don't worry about you, who will? 10 years of misplaced devotion finally led to a lifetime of peace. Gu Yan was nothing more than a passing traveler in my life, while Wei Lin's sincerity was the true destination for the rest of my days. For the rest of my life, every year will be filled with stability and happiness.